Modibedi Phindela, Secretary of the National Council of Provinces, joins us in studio. Advocate, thank you very much for your time. I think let's start with the process of nominating a president and, of course, the Speaker of Parliament.
Well, as you have indicated earlier on, the Chief Justice has handed over the list of members of the National Assembly and the Provincial Legislatures to Parliament. So it's for Parliament now to start preparing for the swearing in of members of National Assembly as well as members of National Council of Provinces, and for the Provincial Legislatures to prepare for the swearing in of the members of the Provincial Legislatures. As indicated, the Chief Justice has determined the 22nd as the first sitting days for the National Assembly as well as the Provincial Legislatures, and the 23rd of May as the sitting day, as the first sitting day for the National Council of Provinces. Of course, once members have been sworn in the houses, in the National Assembly, the National Assembly will proceed to elect the Speaker. It is the Chief Justice who would preside over the election of the Speaker in the National Assembly. Once the Speaker has been elected, then the Speaker will take a chair and proceed to preside over the election of the Deputy Speaker. And insofar as the National Council of Provinces is concerned, the Chief Justice will preside over the election of the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces. And once the Chairperson has been elected, the Chairperson will take the chair and proceed to preside over the election of the Deputy Chairperson. And of course, the Chief Justice in the National Assembly will also preside over the election of the President.
All right. But I want to talk about, I think a lot has been said, and I listened very attentively to what the Chief Justice said today. And he certainly did not mince his words about the caliber of individuals who should be going to Parliament. And in the run-up to today, we've also seen instances where a lot has been said within the public sphere about the lists of some of those political parties. But I want to ask, does Parliament ever step in an instance where, those were stern words from the Chief Justice, and does Parliament ever step in a situation where someone sits and says, hold up, I don't think that the caliber of people that a particular political party has put forward should be going to Parliament?
Remember that our system is one of proportional representation and is based on party lists. So the list that we have received today are the lists which came from the parties, which went to the IEC, and the IEC conducted the elections. So after the elections, the IEC declares the results of the elections. Thereafter, hands the list to Chief Justice, and then Chief Justice hands the list over to Parliament.
But I'm sure you would agree with the Chief Justice in that individuals who should, of course, occupy a Parliament should be individuals of the highest integrity.
As I have indicated, these lists are party lists, so they emanate from the parties.
But in your personal capacity, I mean, one obviously, judging from what the Chief Justice has said, would obviously think that those who should occupy those seats in Parliament should be of the highest integrity, irrespective of the political party that they come from.
Of course, the list that we have received from the Chief Justice are the lists that we have received from the parties, and as I've indicated, from the IEC. So we assume that those are members who qualify to be on the list, and they qualify in terms of the Constitution, because the Constitution prescribes the minimum requirements to be met by a person to be on a party list.
But should that be left to political parties to decide of what integrity level individuals who are sent to Parliament should be? Because I speak about this on the backdrop of so much of the public scrutiny that has gone into looking at these lists and those individuals who will then represent everyone in Parliament.
Of course, as the Secretary to the National Council of Provinces, for instance, I can't interfere with the list that I have received of the permanent delegates which have been designated by the parties from the provincial legislature. And likewise, the secretary to the National Assembly can't interfere with the lists which have been presented by the parties.
I want to talk about the outgoing SCOPA chair, Themba Godi. Many would argue, I guess, he's done quite a good job defending the public purse. Talk us through that process of the incoming SCOPA chair. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody from an opposition party, is it?
Well, it doesn't have to be any member from the opposition party. Remember that once Parliament has been constituted, and I'm talking about the National Council of Provinces and the National Assembly, they will then, the two houses will then constitute committees. Then committees, once they have been constituted, they will then elect the chairpersons of those committees. Each committee will elect its own chairperson.
But obviously, I think just reflecting on the time of Themba Godi, I think many are commenting currently on the work that he has done in defending the public purse. Let's talk about the caliber of person. I know there are many other committees, of course, that will be looked at, and chairs of those committees will come through. But in particular, that one of public accounts, quite crucial, the caliber of person that person is supposed to be.
Well, I wouldn't want to single out any particular chairperson of any particular committee. I think all the chairpersons of committees have done what they were required to do in terms of the Constitution, in terms of the rules of the National Assembly, in terms of the rules of the National Council of Provinces.
Yeah. Again, is it only then political parties that are able to, in the event that one is not available, I guess which would have been indicated at this stage, at this late stage, is it only then that Parliament is then able to intervene in an instance where there may be some kind of unhappiness relating to a list of a political party? Clarify that for me.
Well, we are informed by the political parties, particularly in the National Assembly, for instance. The National Assembly is informed by the parties if the next candidate on the list is not available to take a seat in the National Assembly. And so far as the National Council of Provinces is concerned, for us, of course, we get that from the provincial legislatures.
Have you received any?
We haven't.
You have not?
Yes.
So on the part of, it would be then I'm just seeking clarity on that particular, it would be the political party itself which will then say an individual is not available.
That is correct.
All right.
Yeah.
I still want to press you on the issue, Advocate, of integrity. I know that, of course, you speak in your capacity here as the Secretary of the NCOP, but obviously individuals, whether it's the National Council of Provinces or legislatures or members of Parliament, certainly there should be, with an institution of this magnitude, a certain level of integrity that should occupy that particular space.
As I have indicated, those who appear on the list, insofar as Parliament is concerned, takes it that they do qualify to be members of the National Assembly and to be members of the provincial legislatures.
Yeah.
And of course, the provincial legislatures are going to designate the permanent delegates to the National Council of Provinces. We will take that information from the provincial legislatures, and we will assume that insofar as the provincial legislatures are concerned, they have done what they could in terms of the Constitution.
So those would be the individuals of the highest integrity from those political parties, we would assume.
Those would be individuals who would have been designated by the parties,
who believe they're of the highest integrity. Advocate, thank you so much. I see you don't particularly want to answer that question. Thank you so much for your time.